The only reason I played that because I don't have a boo thing on here. Salute to all the diehards. This is Diehard Giants Live, and I am your host. I am Terrell on IG and Twitter. And as you can see, I got Steph here. We're going to talk about the Giants today, or tonight, I should say. Salute to Wonder Woman in the chat. First one to pop up in the chat. Salute to you. You know you're always appreciated here. Yeah, man. I don't know what to tell everybody. I don't want, I don't want to, try to calm people down from jumping off the ledge, because I always said that this team was probably going to lose a lot of games, but it's always the way that we're losing. Right. So, yeah, it's just the way that we're losing. And because of the way that we're losing, Joe Shane and Brian Dable are both in trouble. And we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Get this right. Matter of fact, hold on. You know what? I'm going to load that in again because There we go. All right. The New York Giants lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30-7. It was a terrible game for us. The first half was atrocious. It was 23 zip at half. It ended up being 30-0 at one point until we until we scored a garbage touchdown towards the end of the game. And it was a bad look, man. It looked like people quit on the team. Tommy DeVito obviously isn't ready to be a starting quarterback, or maybe a quarterback at all in the NFL. I don't know if he's even going to be a valuable backup. But, he's our quarterback for now. I don't know about if he's going to be the quarterback after this week, because we do have a short week against Dallas. They say Tommy DeVito is a little bit banged up, so Drew Lock might actually start, but we don't know yet. But going forward, they said that Tommy DeVito is supposed to be our starting quarterback for the rest of the season, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. Steph, you said you saw the second half of the game. Is there any type of, I don't know, we'll talk about the overall state of the Giants, but anything like, what did you see in the second half from the players, I should say?
Yeah. One, it seemed like they couldn't get out of their own way. Just inopportune bad plays, like that fumble. I mean, listen, when they came out out of halftime and they was able to push it down the field, I was like, you know what? Okay, they had a bad first half.
Mm-hmm.
They regrouped in the locker room. Look how they're coming down the field. They're gonna respond. And then it was the fumble or whatever it was. I mean, part of it is, like, I want to say we're not a good team. We're not a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder how much the Daniel Jones, we spoke about this before the went on. I wonder how much the Daniel Jones decision, the decision to let him go, impacted the team, because apparently he was very well liked,
Right.
and respected in that locker room. Though you can argue, the hell with that. You two and whatever coming up against another team that's whatever they were, 2, 3, and whatever. You got to be able as professionals to kind of put that to the side and come out and give you a best shot. But
Right.
they're human too. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. And if you've ever been on a losing streak, and I have, in basketball,
Mm-hmm.
it gets to a point where it becomes really mental. And it gets to a point where talent-wise, you should be a little better,
Mm-hmm.
but just that losing, it just takes something from you. Just takes something from you each and every game, that you start coming up with new ways to lose games.
Right.
you know, so I've been in that spot. But I guess my question for you is: are the
Mm-hmm.
Giants really this bad, or is this coaching, or is this just players not executing, or are they just talent wise this bad?
I think it's a little bit of both. And the Daniel, like what you said about Daniel Jones, how people perceive him, and how the team reacted to it, his benching and ultimately release. That's one thing we haven't talked about this show yet, because we was off last week, and that all happened during the bye week.
Right.
But just to bring up Daniel Jones, I'll keep these stats up here while we talk about him for a second. Um, Part of the reason the team did act that way and played that way is because Daniel Jones not only got benched, they released him. And I think that once players know that the coaching staff or the GM has given up on the season, it's just human nature to give up too.
Mhm.
As players, not all of them have done that,
Right.
but a majority of the players have done that. You can tell. At least I can tell just by watching the game over again. Like the effort wasn't there, not like it usually is. And we're a bad team even with effort. So that
Right.
that's so we got beat so bad. Like Tampa Bay is, I don't want to say they're a bad team. They have a losing record, but they have a lot of injuries on their squad. So that's part of the reason they have a losing record. I actually think they are a good football team. They have a good
Mhm.
football coach in Todd Bowles. He blitzed Tommy DeVito damn near every play on Sunday, and it just showed how good of a coach he is, and situational football. Like he knew he had a bad quarterback back there, and he took advantage. But for the most part, I don't know. It's not like I'm trying to see if I can say this because Daniel Jones obviously was not a good quarterback, but he still was a leader and a person in that locker room they respected at least.
Mhm.
Benching him, if they would have just benched him because of his play, I don't
Mhm.
think it would have been any type of revolt or anything like that. But once they benched him this early, and it proved that they benched him mainly because of the injury
Mhm.
clause in his contract, we talked about that multiple times on here. If he gets injured and he can't clear a physical next season, Daniel Jones, like we will have to pay him a guarantee of $23 million, and it will be on our cap. So,
Right.
in order for us to, like, if we already know that he's not going to be our quarterback of the future, you try to do everything possible for him not to get injured. So once,
Right.
like, the players saw that, you got to think as a player, well, okay, he can't get injured, but it's okay if I get injured during the losing season.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
football is a very, very tough physical game. People get hurt a lot. So yeah, like once he got sat, and the reason that he got sat down, um, I really think that I don't want to say that they will completely lost the locker room, but a lot of people I would guess stopped playing for him, and that's a bad thing. Like it was really bad. Let's just say that.
But they understand the contract situation as well. So and they so do you think in a locker room they were saying to hell with the contract situation. He might get injured, he might not. Two and whatever we are, you still play it out to the end no matter what. Is that what the players are saying or we're thinking?
Yeah, because like I always say, when players tank in football, that usually doesn't happen. Like it's really very, very seldom that you see like a football team tank. Like
Mhm.
football is too much of a physical game for players to go out there and lose on purpose.
Mhm.
Like that doesn't usually happen. As players, I've never heard of like a player tanking. They don't care about the draft pick next year.
Right.
They don't care about getting Shador Sanders or Cam Ward from Miami. Like they are college players, and like you're pretty much telling grown adults to put bad play on tape and lose on purpose just so you can get a kid in college. That's not a oh, Steph just stopped up, just dropped up. Here she go. You good, Steph?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
And
cool.
I'm in Brooklyn. I don't know what's going on.
That's that Giants curse, no? That's that Giants curse, man. Everybody bad in New York right now. But yeah, like I was saying, like when you have like adults, when you telling adults that they should lose on purpose in a physical game like that, like
Yeah.
those dudes not going to do that. They don't care about Shador Sanders or Cam Ward coming out of college or any
Yeah.
quarterback or any rookie period,
Yeah.
because the rookies or the draft pick period is so much of a crapshoot that you don't know. Say we do get the number 1 pick, we draft Cam Ward. By the looks of this team, we aren't a quarterback away from nothing.
Oh no, we starting over.
Yeah, we have to start over. And that's one thing that the Giants in this regime failed to do.
Yeah.
What that I keep on saying that when we was winning those games when they first got here and went to that on that playoff run, that was the worst thing that could have happened to this team. Like a lot of stuff broke right for us that year. We won a whole bunch of games that we probably shouldn't have won, and they came down to like the last possession. And Brian Dable, even though he doesn't seem like it now, I actually do think he's a good coach. Is he good enough coach to actually?
What is the heck?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Is Brian Dable is the type of coach. I think he's good, but I don't know if he's good enough to be calling the plays and try to do all the little details a head coach should be doing for a football team.
Right.
Like, I actually think that's why during that first season when we did go to the playoffs, he wasn't calling the plays. Mike Kafka was.
Right.
He didn't take over calling the plays until the season after that, and that's when everything went downhill. So, it's not just the offense; it's just little details that our team does that, that doesn't happen that make us lose games now. So, because of that and the way that the team has responded to all of this, even if they don't get rid of Joe Shane, who I really think is the problem, not Brian Dable, I think they almost have to get rid of Brian Dable. You can't have a football team play like this for a coach. There's almost no coming back from it. I don't see why they will ever respect him after this year. Oh, you chopping up stuff. Like, I can't understand you. And she dropped off again. Steph will be back. But yeah, man, the state of this team is pretty bad. Salute to Almighty Finesse. He says Shador. Yeah. I do like Shador Sanders. Tough as nails. Son of a coach, obviously. Everybody know who the coach is. Said Brian Dable was not a good coach. He got to go, and Shane. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. But, yeah, it's been tough sledding, man. I'm not bringing up any type of stats or anything for last game for the Buccaneers game because it almost doesn't matter. Like, we just got blown out. The score was a lot to a little. The rushing yards and the passing yards was leaps and bounds over ours. It was pretty much a terrible game and a terrible showing for a franchise that hasn't been really good for the past couple of years, or past few years, I should say. But like Wonder Woman said, we need to start over, man. I think we need to start over. I got a couple videos for everybody. Brian Dable talking about, I think a reporter asked him about the team actually giving up on him or him losing the locker room.
I know you're saying your guys played hard.
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you say to people who think that the team kind of quit on you guys there with the performance that they put out there after seeing
Yeah. I mean, we went back, we evaluated the tape this morning. Look, we didn't play well enough. There was some things, whether it's execution stuff, call stuff, that we just didn't get the job done. But in terms of running to the football, giving effort at the line of scrimmage, those didn't stand out, Jordan. Standing out was, 3 sacks early on in the first half, 0 for 4 on third down, a variety of missed tackles that caused, some big plays. And the missed tackles weren't a lack of effort. Missed tackles. Give Tampa Bay credit. They did a good job, and we didn't do a good enough job.
Yep, that was Brian Dable lying his ass off. Yeah, at this point, Brian Dable is just grasping at straws. He's trying not to get fired. And he's trying to say the right things, especially with a fragile locker room. He's not going to say that those guys quit or those guys are soft or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, he has to say, they showed effort. They didn't show no damn effort. We was getting beat 30-0 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They good, but they not that good like that. Not to do that. So we'll I don't even know what to say after that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It's good that he didn't throw them under the bus,
Right.
And come out there saying, regardless of what come on, you're a professional. I guess that wouldn't have been too bad, but some coaches really, throw you under the bus. So he elected not to do that. What do you say? He watched that tape. What do you say?
Nothing. I get, to be honest, what he said was nothing. That's why I'm saying nothing. Like the stuff that he's doing, I don't know. He's been getting asked these questions, and I know the position that he is very difficult. Like we're on like a 6-game losing streak, and his job is on the line. People are quitting in the locker room. What do you say as a leader of the team? Like it's almost nothing that you can say. So that's how I know most of the stuff that he's saying. He's going to have to lie to the media. That's part of the reason why I don't like when the media ask him questions like that. Like, what do you expect a person to say? Like,
right.
It's like they think that none of these dudes are actually human, like the players and stuff. Not the coaches either. Like just because they like have high profile positions, they get paid a lot of money and stuff like that. That doesn't matter. Like they're all still human. But and it is what it is. I got a video. My guy Connor Hughes. Salute to Connor Hughes and SNY. He has a video about what the state of the Giants is going to be like going forward.
Oh.
A few weeks ago, Brian Dable and Joe Schoen received votes of confidence from John Mara. Essentially, barring unforeseen circumstances, the two would be back for the team in 2025. Those unforeseen circumstances, they are here. The Giants have devolved into a borderline embarrassment, with this 30-7 loss to the Buccaneers being a microcosm of everything that is wrong with this team right now. Defensively, they can't stop the pass. They can't rush the passer. They can't stop the run. They can't tackle. Offensively, Dable thought that benching Daniel Jones and inserting Tommy DeVito into the lineup would provide this team a boost. There was no boost. This offense scored just 7 points and is averaging 14.8 points per game this season. That is not only last in the entire NFL. That number doesn't just seem low. It is the lowest mark in franchise history, tied for the lowest mark in franchise history with the 1979 Giants for any team that played at least 16 games. This team has regressed every single year under Joe Schoen and Brian Dable. Now you have players in the locker room like Dexter Lawrence, Malik Neighbors, saying this team is soft. When Brian Burns was asked if the message from the coaching staff is still getting through, and Dexter Lawrence was asked if this team still has faith in their coaches, both players said, I think so. You had Neighbors coming dangerously close to calling out the play calling. There are teams that turn it around, franchises that turn it around. But when a coach loses the locker room, that's it. And Dable's grasp on this locker room, it is hanging on by a thread. Mara wants to stay the course. He wants to believe that Schoen and Dable can turn it around. Right now, there is mounting evidence that that is not going to happen.
Yeah.
We shall see.
When they went to DeVito, and I know you're not high on Drew Lock, but in that locker room, though, you don't think that also sent the message like we ain't even going with this? So we gonna skip over him. So you really ain't trying to win another game.
Right. And plus, it kind of shows how incompetent Joe Schoen has been. You paid Drew Lock $5 million to just do what exactly then? Especially since, you know what might be the downfall for this regime? that hard knocks that happened over the summer.
You think so?
Yeah, the whole Saquon Barkley thing,
Okay, that part, yeah.
that part, because the that was mainly what the it wasn't all that, because it has something to do with the draft too. But
Hmm.
that Saquon Barkley story is a huge story. The owner came in his office and said that he didn't want to lose Saquon and he'll have a hard time sleeping at night if he goes to the Eagles. Joe Shane looked at him and laughed, like, and was smiling. Like, I don't know if it was a nervous laugh or what. You know how people be acting like that sometimes, but
Hmm.
it was almost, I don't know, snarky, or
Hmm.
I don't know, like he knew something that everybody else didn't know. And the owner came into his office and he said Chicago, with talking about Saquon, he thought he was going to bring Saquon back on like a trash deal. And the thing that he said to the owner was Chicago is trying to drive the price up. Saquon was, had offered an offer from Chicago, and he thinks Philly is out. And it ended up he went to Philly, and he looks like the MVP of the league right now.
Hmm. What did I read? That he might break the single season record for yards.
It,
He has a shot.
he has a shot. He has a shot. He ran for over 250 yards the other night, Steph. Like, and to lose somebody like that with a bullshit reason, because he tried to say that it was money, especially with the first year that he wanted to franchise Saquon. That's when it all started. He didn't want to give Saquon an extension, and the franchise tag came, and he put like the feelers out there that you don't pay a running back this, and you don't pay him that, and fans pretty much regurgitated that and thought it was right.
But what's his issue with Saquon Barkley though? Or what do you think the issue was?
I personally think it's an ego thing. It had nothing to do with talent. Saquon is obviously talented, and like I always talk about him, he's like the epitome of a leader on your team. Like, big in the community, big in the locker room. He was the leader of that team. It seems like Joe Shane wanted this to, like, I don't know if he really believed that much in Daniel Jones that he had to, you know, you got to think about it. He got rid of two leaders. He got rid of Saquon Barkley, and he got rid of Xavier McKinney, who was the leader on the defense.
But I get it. But you do that when you believe in, like, I got a young quarterback who I believe in. We're not going anywhere. Let's get rid of these vets. This is the guy that's going to be here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Let him become the leader of the voice. I mean, the leader of the team, the voice. That's not the situation we was in.
The thing is, if he believed that was the situation we was in, he needs to be fired, because that's the only, like you said, like I agree with you,
Right.
that is the only way he would even think about, like, just throwing away your two stars that's in their prime. Like, both of them are in their prime, and both of them were drafted here. So how do you extend Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence but not extend Xavier McKinney and Saquon Barkley? Like, that, it was just weird at the time. I always thought it was weird. I never thought it was about money. I think he really wanted them to, I don't know, not forget Saquon was there, but he needed another leader in the locker room, and excuse me, and it seemed like he wanted it to be Daniel Jones.
But why did him and Saquon not Saquon not have a good relationship or what? Like, I mean, I just don't get it. And now I read an article, and I hope this guy was wrong, that that the Giants, because of their spending and free agency
Mm-hmm.
last season, won't get a compensatory pick for Saquon Barkley. They're going to get one for McKinney,
Mm-hmm.
but because they signed, was it Runyon, to
Mm-hmm.
about equal money that Saquon is getting,
Mm-hmm.
that they're not going to get a compensatory pick, compensatory
Compensatory.
pick. I'm like, and they and the article said this is the, like, the bottom for a general manager, like,
Yes.
to not know, what you need to do to position yourself to get that pick.
He has made.
I'll send you the article.
Yes, please do. And I completely agree with what you said and that article. Like, I don't think we're going to get the pick for Saquon Barkley for losing him. And like I said, he lost both of those young leaders. They were both captains. Both obviously had a voice in the locker room, and he got rid of both of them for nothing. He could have traded either one of them the last season when we had a losing record, and he decided not to. So to me, that's almost like malpractice. As soon as Saquon Barkley signed to the Eagles, I was like, saying to my head, I didn't say this on the show or nothing, but I was like, yeah, this is probably going to have a snowball effect in the locker room because of Saquon Barkley. Like, he's not just some other running back. And for what he got for the Eagles, they got Drew Lock at $5 million, and then Joe Shane signed Devin Singletary, who doesn't even start anymore. He only started like the first 3 games of the season. He gave him $6 million. So that $11 million would have equaled Saquon Barkley.
Right.
So he gave up Saquon Barkley for a backup quarterback who's not playing, even though he can play, and the starter got benched, and a backup running back who lost his job to a rookie.
Right.
So.
And even if he has good reasons for it, it's perception.
Right.
So you're going to skip over the second string to the third string. So then what was the sense of of trading for him? Or is he saying that we're trying to for draft position we're going to go third string?
He can't say that out loud.
I know he can't say that, but I'm wondering if that was his motive.
Yeah, that has to be the motivation. Like, they're in full tank mode. They just can't say it out loud, like I said. And you're not supposed to really let the players think that either. Like,
well, they're gonna know. If you skip over Miles McBride and you put in Charlie Brown,
right.
Not
even Tyler Coley. You gonna go all the way down. You gonna go all the way down to the 15th man.
Know what you're doing, whether you say it or not.
Right. Man, Tommy DeVito looked like he should not be in the NFL. Like, I hope I wish him well. He's a good kid and everything. He seemed like he worked hard because this has been a journey for him. This is his second year. He was undrafted. He worked his way up to, have a relationship with the Giants. He's from Jersey. So I wish him well, but he's never going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I really don't see it. So it's almost like they're throwing him to the wolves.
Right. And
that I think is kind of pissing people off too in that locker room. Like, Tommy Vito not that good. Mm-hmm. Drew Lock is better just because he's had starter experience. Not like he's that good either. Mm-hmm. But you throwing this kid to the wolves, he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing like that. But you want us to fight for you, though.
Right.
You want us to play for you.
Right.
You want us to put our bodies and careers on the line, because all of this is going to be on tape. Like, all of this, like, this last game is sealed. Like, any general manager for another team can look at this tape and look at the players during this game and how they reacted. Mm-hmm. So going forward, when they do become free agents, or when it's time to extend, even with the Giants, why the hell should I extend you or sign you when you put that type of effort just because you were, in a losing season or something?
Right.
Like, that's why I said, like, players don't take. Not in football. You can't, because if you do half-ass it out there, 9 times out of 10 you are going to get hurt.
Right.
But players not going to put up with that, man. Well, we on full tank watch. Giants are 2-9. I got Perez. Every week I'm gonna have this up here. I'm not doing the team versus team anymore when it comes to the stats, because it really doesn't matter. And that's one thing too, Steph. We got so many games left.
Right.
Like, it's early.
And we got an extra game. Wasn't it just last year they added the 17th game, or was it this year?
It was last year. So we even got an extra game. We got to watch this mess, man. The whole 17 games. Look, all my friends said 2-15. 2-15. So we got 6
Do you
more
think they
games
would
left.
let them go during the course of the season? They would wait till the end of the season, right?
No. Well, it all depends. No, I don't see that. Like, if I truly think if this Tampa Bay game wasn't on a short week heading into Thanksgiving into the Dallas game, I think Brian Dable might be fired after Thursday.
But you could point to Joe Shane too. Some of the things
hmm
he's done as well.
If I was the owner, and I'm obviously not, I would get rid of both of them personally. I think it's over. I think once Joe Shane got rid of Saquon, I think he lost a little respect from a lot of people in that locker room, preferably the
In
leaders.
the NFL community, probably was like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah, it's players from other teams that was like, what the hell is going on with the Giants? They let Saquon Barkley just walk out of the door, and he went to a arch rival. So,
Yeah. I mean, a lot. I mean, even what was the running back? You just can't let really. What was the running back? He got injured though.
hmm,
3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe.
that player here
Yeah. Then he won a Super Bowl with the. I can't believe
before Saquon.
he came. Didn't he come in with Saquon or what's the running back from LSU with the backhand catch in the end zone? Come
Oh, you talk about
on,
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham.
Oh, wide receiver. You said running back.
I said running back. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I meant wide receiver.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
He was a prima donna. All
yeah. I don't
right.
care about none of
Okay.
that.
All right. All right. It's true. But I'm
Right.
just saying, though, I just feel like you got to give an extra leash to some to the talented players and just try to hold them and contain them.
Right.
He wasn't no damn Dennis. They was able to do it with Dennis Rodman. Figure it out with Odell Beckham.
Hey, yo, Mike told Phil, if you let him go to Vegas, you ain't gonna see him no more. Don't get Rodman in Vegas. You're not.
Right.
He can't go on vacation.
Right.
I remember that. But yeah, like you said, you have to be that. We should have never got rid of Odell Beckham. So that was a David Gettleman mistake. And you see how some of the fans are trying. I don't know if you've seen any of the post game interviews with some of the players, kind of speaking out. Malik Neighbors is a rookie, obviously, but he's speaking out like he's a veteran, talking about how, you got to look at the tape. I'm getting open. You got to ask the coach this, ask the coach that. Like we're playing soft. We're not playing well. I'm sick of losing. So fans are sitting here saying that he's a rookie. He shouldn't be saying none of this stuff. Those are the
He's
type of.
tired of losing.
I wish I had 21 more of them. Are you crazy? Like, what is he supposed to say? I know he's a young kid and he doesn't know how to answer questions yet. Like, he's not media trained. You could tell. He was chewing gum and smacking in the microphone while they was asking questions. So I know he's not media trained. He's a young kid. He's only 21 years old. But you can't. I don't know. You can't judge a kid for not wanting to lose and think he's just going to sit there and take it and not say nothing. Like he's just supposed to be some good old boy and just, you go out there and run routes and just running wind sprints for no reason, not getting the ball, and you losing 30-0. Like who wants to live their NFL dream like that? This dude just came into the NFL, and this is the first taste of professional football that he's had.
And he probably hasn't. Probably hasn't lost a lot in his college career. I mean, come on.
No, he went to LSU as well, so they don't lose often. Like he didn't win a championship when he got there, but remember he was the wide receiver for Jaden Daniels. So Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy throwing to Malik Neighbors.
Right. Wow.
Like they both were excellent at LSU their last 2 years there. So, and they didn't win the championship or anything, but they had very good records. They had winning records. Like they don't know what losing is, especially Malik. This is the type of person he is. He doesn't like losing. And those are the type of people or type of players that you want in that building.
Right, for sure.
Let me see what else everybody got in the chat. Almighty Finesse, type of the way we didn't get nothing for Saquon. Yup. Yeah. He said, okay, we got something in return for Odell. Even though it was a bad decision, at least we got some draft picks for
Right,
Odell.
right, right.
They let Saquon just walk. Mm. Oh my, but I said we're losing out looking at our schedule. I think the Dallas game, much as we suck, Dallas sorry as hell too. Their starting
Yeah.
quarterback is out for the year. They haven't
He
won.
is?
Oh yeah, Dak Prescott, he been hurt.
Oh, wow.
That's why. Well, they were bad before he got hurt, but a few weeks ago, I think it's a pulled hamstring, like a pretty bad hamstring.
Mhm,
He done for the year. So I
mhm.
don't know if he had to have surgery on the hamstring or what, but he's done for the season. They haven't won a home game all season, so
We
some
getting
got.
blown out.
I'm about to say some got a happen step. So we're going to be at Dallas. They haven't won a game all season, and it's on Thanksgiving.
What time?
I think at 4:30.
Okay.
Prime time. Well, not prime time because they actually added another game for Thanksgiving. It's not two games anymore.
Mhm.
They actually have a night game too. But yeah, we're gonna be the only game on. So while you're eating your turkey and stuff and anything else anybody's eating, you can turn on to the Giants game and
Try not to vomit.
right. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm obviously be watching the game because I can't miss a game.
Right.
But yeah, I'm rooting for us to lose, but rooting for us to also not get embarrassed. That's the key. It's the embarrassment part. It's not the losing. I knew we was going to be a losing team this year. We weren't that good on paper or on tape or on nothing for any stretch of the imagination that the Giants were going to have a winning record this year. I knew that.
Right.
It's the way that you're losing, though. That's the key. And the way that we're losing is the reason why I think Joe Shane and Brian Dable is going to be fired. I know Brian Dable is going to be thrown under the bus first. He's the coach.
Mhm.
A lot of this stuff has to do with him, especially when it comes to the effort stuff. Joe Shane can't do that. That's not his job. That's Brian Dable's job. The way that they are playing. But the team that Joe Shane is giving Brian Dable,
I was about to say exactly.
yeah, I'd boomerang his ass right out of the doorstep. Like he's been terrible. He's been bad. There's bad decisions like everywhere, from free agents to some of the free agents that he brought in to the draft. This past draft is by far his best draft class.
Mhm.
But if you look at his draft class with the other two classes, like coming in, they were good players in college, and I can see why if you evaluate them just off that,
Mhm.
it could be a developmental thing, but most of them aren't even playing on the team. Some of them are on the team on the bench, not getting any type of burn, and some aren't on the team at all.
Mm.
And this is from 2 years ago. So if you're having like fourth and fifth round picks no longer on the team, or you can't use them anymore, and it's just been a year or two, then how good was your evaluation process bringing them in the first place? Then,
Right.
or your developmental program once
Right.
they get into the building, even if
Right.
they were good kids and good picks and very coachable or whatnot. How the hell did Jalen Hyatt not get the ball now?
Right. Right.
How come he only got like one or two catches on the season, but won like the wide receiver of the year award when he went to Tennessee in the SEC? Like getting 300-yard games against Alabama. You come into the league and can't get a ball.
Right.
Like it doesn't really make any sense. Like, and Brian Dable, like I said, is a good offensive coach that you can he's good enough to just scheme people open. Like I can tell by the way Malik Neighbors played in the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
Like Brian Dable is a very good offensive coach. I think he just doesn't do anything else very well.
Mm.
Like I can tell that he's not a hard-nosed coach. He let a lot of shit slide in the locker room, and it's just a snowball effect. I don't think they respect him anymore.
Wow.
Which is hard to say because I actually do like him. Like I wish, ultimately, I actually wish they can get rid of Shane and keep Brian Dable, but that can't happen.
Yeah. A new general manager is gonna want their old coach.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're gonna want their old coach. Yeah.
Yep. So that's it, Steph. I don't really have anything else.
Well,
Like I said, we played Dallas 4:30. It's the America's game. Dallas have a Thanksgiving. Let me get this out of here. A Thanksgiving Thanksgiving game every season, and we're going there to not be the turkey. I ain't trying to get stuffed on Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to just go there and get stuffed at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I think we're going to lose, but don't embarrass us. Like, I just don't want to be embarrassed, and the players shouldn't want to be embarrassed too. They should be playing for themselves if they don't want to play for the coach anymore.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And this is the end of a Daniel Jones era that, in my opinion, I thought should have never started. I was just
Right,
wasn't high on that pick to begin with, and I just feel like the Giants are under some sort of curse. Like, I feel like that was the same thing with the Knicks. It doesn't matter who we got,
right,
Isaiah Thomas, Phil Jackson. We could not get any momentum. And
right.
I feel like the Giants has fallen to something similar. We're changing management at what, every 2 to 3 years.
Yep. That's all ownership, though. Ownership is making the wrong decisions on who should be in charge. Like, it all started when they got rid of Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
They got rid of Tom. They got rid of Jerry Reese. But Jerry Reese, a lot of those Super Bowl teams, especially the first one, like the GM before that, he still had his hands in some of that. So Jerry Reese, it's not like I was the biggest fan of Jerry Reese, but I didn't hate him as a
Right.
general manager.
He killed
So,
me with all these with the little wide receiver. I'm like, look,
oh,
you trying to all these sexy picks, yo? Come on.
yeah. Got his Hakeem Nicks, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Got his Hakeem Nicks. He got a
yeah.
couple good wide receivers, Mario Manningham.
Yeah.
Look, he found Victor. Well, not found, because he was an undrafted free agent, and he went. He from Jersey, went to UMass. So the closest team he latched on to was the New York Giants. So I don't want to say that Jerry Reese found Victor Cruz, but he ended up being obviously a good player for us. So you could technically say that was under his watch, and even though he didn't draft him, he did sign him. So
Right.
yeah, but after that,
Whew.
Gettleman.
Gettleman. Oh,
Look, and then after when Gettleman was here, Pat Shermer gone, McAdoo gone, Joe Judge gone.
wow, that's like 5.
Yep,
Was that 4 or was that 5?
4. So it was McAdoo, Shermer, Joe Judge, and then Brian Dibble. So Daniel Jones went through 4 coaches and 2 general managers. He got them all fired.
Okay.
He got them all fired, man. Like, for some reason, I think maybe because I don't want to put it all on the general manager either. It has to do with the owner. Because a real general manager that will come in and look at this team know that we will have to rebuild. But for some reason, I think the ownership, maybe because maybe we're in New York, or for whatever reason, he doesn't want to rebuild. There's been no rebuild, like clear-cut rebuild for the Giants since Eli Manning left, or when Tommy C left.
But when you, okay, so maybe it's different for football, but what I see from the Giants, I don't see the Giants bringing in high price free. Like, I see the Giants drafting. So how else do
Mm-hmm.
you rebuild? They drafted all of these players. They just didn't work out. So
Right.
how would a rebuild look different?
Well, a rebuild would have looked different. You wouldn't have drafted Saquon Barkley at 2, for one thing. That's when the rebuild should have happened. Like, why didn't they draft Josh Allen? Why didn't they draft a quarterback to sit under Eli Manning for a year
Right.
so he can learn? Because Eli was obviously on his way out when they got Saquon.
Right.
So instead of drafting his successor,
I
I use Josh
that.
Allen as an example, just because he ended up being what he is. But they had a chance to draft Josh Allen. They had a chance to draft Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Like, there's plenty of quarterbacks they could have drafted, but they decided to go with Saquon Barkley. And then, year later go with Daniel Jones. So, and they picked him 6th, and he's a top 10 pick as well. So they didn't do a proper rebuild. So, and then when Joe Shane got here, he tried to do his best with the rebuild, but I think he kind of, I don't know, he had to have reached with some of them draft picks. Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau, they were both highly touted. So I'm not even counting them, even though they were 2 top 10 picks that actually might be bust. Never know.
Right.
They're on the, the way to becoming bust, but not Kayvon Thibodeau, but Evan Neal certainly. Kayvon, he doesn't look like a Pro Bowler to me, but you never know. He actually has the talent. He can actually get better.
Right.
But there are other draft picks after that. Most of them aren't even on the team anymore. And that was just 2 years ago. All of his offensive lineman picks have been terrible. Even JMS, John Michael Smith, our starting center, who he picked last year in the 2nd round. I thought it was a good pick. He hasn't developed well. Like, he's been getting killed out there. He doesn't look like a starting center in the league either. Now, he's been like below average since he started. Who else? Joshua Azudu. We drafted him in the 3rd round 2 years ago. He's unplayable damn near. Like, he can't do anything. Drafted another kid, McKeithen, out of North Carolina. Both of them went to North Carolina, Azudu and McKeithen. He drafted both of them in the 3rd and 5th round. McKeithen isn't on the team anymore. And Joshua Azudu, he came in for Andrew Thomas for 1 game and got killed, and we ain't seen him since. So like, a lot of his decisions have been bad. Hey, salute to my guy, Kareem. Salute, appreciate you for being here, bro. 4 coaches, 2 general managers, and I think we're going to have another one. Like, I think they're both going to be fired.
Yeah. You think they still thinking Belichick?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
Bill Belichick
is like 96.
Yeah, but you know what he is? A culture starter.
Yeah.
He's not somebody that's just going to take everything that Brian Dable or Joe Shane did and build off of it. He turned this shit down from the bottom and built. He's going, like, he's a culture setter. Like, I like coaches like that. Like Mike Vrabel from another Patriot, player, but he was the head coach of Tennessee. They got rid of him, which I was actually shocked he got rid of. He didn't get a job in this coaching cycle, but he's like a hot commodity and the number 1 name in the coaching cycle this year coming up. Him and Bill Belichick, the offensive coordinator for Detroit. I don't think he will want this job unless we get the number 1 pick, and it's a surefire way that we're either going to get Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. And I think he would have to not fall in love with, but he would have to want one of them as well.
Right.
His name is Ben Johnson. He's the offensive coordinator for Detroit. If I was him, I wouldn't take this job. I think I wouldn't take this job. Like, the Jets is going to look for a coach. I wouldn't take that job either. If I'm a first-time head coach, I'll stay the hell away from the Giants, to be honest.
Wow. How old is Belichick? I mean, he's old, right?
Mm-hmm. He got to be in his 70s, at least. Oh, another name a lot of people probably forgot about, Pete Carroll, ex head coach for Seattle. He got fired. He didn't get a job in the last coaching cycle, but I think he wants to get back into coaching as well. He's another one that will be a culture setter. So I can see him being the coach of the Giants as well. It's those 3, him, Belichick, and Mike Vrabel. Everybody else will either be like a first-time coach that deep down inside, I don't know if I would want in this situation, if that makes sense.
Right. And they did. I don't know about Vrabel, but I know between Belichick and Pete Carroll is different personalities.
Yeah, very much so.
But I think they were both garner respect for different reasons, though. But I think they were both.
Yeah, because they're old enough to be everybody's grandfather, so you gotta respect them. Shit.
How old is Pete Carroll? He's old too.
I think he might be older than Belichick.
No, then we must not be talking about.
Yeah, Pete Carroll old as hell. Like he just look and act young, but yeah,
Oh,
he's
I see. Okay, I
72.
was thinking about somebody else. I think I was thinking of. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, let me look up how
He's
old
73. I was who was I thinking about?
Bill Belichick is. 72, so they're the same age.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. Yeah, no, I was thinking about somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pete Carroll from Seattle, man. Like he's a coach that said he's the one who got them good because Seattle was a laughing stock too. But then they got Mike Holmgren from Green Bay, and then after that they got Pete Carroll. So they've been good for a couple years or a few years. I should say.
But he did he it says here this was January 8th.
Mm-hmm.
He plans to return for the 2024 season. Oh, this is the 2025 season.
Yeah. He didn't get it. He didn't get a job. Him and Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel didn't get jobs in the last coaching cycle after they got fired because all of them got laid off. Like none of them retired or quit or anything. I think they all, either contract. I think Bill Belichick contract expired. I don't think he got fired. But yeah, all of them left. They didn't get a job. So this year, all of them will be head coaches in the NFL, just depending on where.
Oh, Vrabel is 49. At least he got,
Yeah, remember he was Bill Belichick's, starting linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of the players. So he's not that old. But he demands respect too, as he should. He's coached in this league for a while now, and he's a highly respected coach. And he's one of those culture setters too. I can see that. And to be honest, I kind of would probably want him more than I want Bill Belichick, though.
Yeah, at least
just
he's
because.
Around.
Yeah. Yo, step crazy. Yeah, we know we ain't got to put up a mirror up in his nose.
Let me see it through. See it through. Come on.
You gotta know we can't put none. We ain't got to put none over his nose to see if he's still breathing when he take a nap and shit like that. Yeah, you right. Because the other two, yeah, they up there, especially for oldest relative. But to be a head football coach and the type of hours that you got to put in,
yeah.
I don't know if I want no 70-year-old dude, but they're both Super Bowl coaches, Super Bowl winning coaches that's highly respected. So we do get them. Like you, as a Giants fan, you can't cry about it. Like it is what it is. Like we put ourselves in this situation. It's almost like, when the substitute come in and the kids are acting bad. So instead of putting another teacher in there, they put like a military teacher, somebody that went to like from West Point and some shit and made like they got to be Joe Clark.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe they will go with Belichick to set the foundation for 2 years or so, and then
Yep, exactly. That's where I see the Giants going in the future. Like, get rid of Joe Shane. Only thing about Bill Belichick, though, he likes to be his own kind of quasi general manager, and I hate that. I do not like that. Yeah. He should not be the end all, the be all for the decisions when it comes to personnel.
Right.
And I don't think, but he demands the respect that if he asks for that, you gotta give it to him. He's the second winningest coach in NFL history.
Wow.
And Pete Carroll up there too, but Bill Belichick is second behind Shula, I think, from Miami. So he wants to come back and break that record.
Yeah, and you can't be sitting here and standing in the middle of ruin saying, "No, we can't give you that."
Right.
Right.
Exactly. We got the first pick of the draft, week 2 and 15. Bill Belichick, who was the coach here, who was the defensive coordinator here, he loves this organization. Mm-hmm. If he wants to be here, you can be like, nah, we're gonna go with a OC from another team that's never been a head coach before. That is, you kind of sound like you don't know. You shouldn't be making the decisions then.
And let me tell you, give Belichick a head start. Clear this out after Thanksgiving.
Right.
But then even when you do that, though, you wouldn't bring him in the coach. You would just take somebody's on the staff now, right?
Right.
Until the off season, right?
Like the head coach, say if Brian Dable get fired, Mike Kafka would probably be the head coach.
Okay.
It'd probably be him. And I wouldn't want him as my head coach. So he's going to be the interim.
Belichick in the building.
Right.
Have him in the building.
And he will be making the decisions from afar. Like even it might not be publicly, but he will be making the decision as like a consultant until he officially gets the job.
Right, because you can't like hire him as the head coach if you already have one interim coaching the team, right?
I think you can.
Wow.
It never happens though.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any type of rule that says you can't hire a head coach anytime you want to. I think. But if that does happen, yeah, that's unprecedented. That'll make that's kind of weird.
Consultant, because he gonna want to get. He probably ain't even got a computer. He probably still using the pencil and his pads all.
Yep. I guarantee you, Bill Belichick is watching all these Giants games and already know who he's trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yep. Like him, nope, can't use him. Nope, can't use him either. He's gone. And then once he get to those 6 people that's going to be on this team going forward, because it's only like 6 of them. It's only like 6 of them, so.
And the thing about it is, now, I don't know if this was just the case because he had a good system already in place. Because when you have a good system, you can plug in no names or reclamation projects, and they do well because you have a system in place. I'm not sure, because I was saying like, wow, I like him. He reminds me of Spoelstra in the sense that, just taking guys out of nowhere, reclamation projects, and they do well. But is that just him? Or the fact that they have built that system so strong, and the pieces that they needed to be strong were strong. So then in a situation like that, you can plug in. He's not gonna have that with the Giants.
Right, exactly. Especially not in the beginning. That's the thing, like you said, it's going to take a couple of years.
It's going to take a couple of years,
regardless of who comes in. Like, don't be prepared to be a losing franchise for at least 2 years. Be getting a rookie quarterback on a bad team. We can't expect to be a good team next year either, regardless of who comes in.
Yeah, and in terms of him being a savior, because think about the last 2 years in New England. They weren't, they weren't great, and he was there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he got fired for a reason. Probably a stale message in the locker room. Look how long he been there, how many Super Bowls he went to. People got probably tired of his old ass coming in all grumpy every day, looking at the same face over and over again. Even if he was, because he's still a good football coach. Like, that hasn't went anywhere. You don't lose that.
Right.
But people probably got tired of listening to him and got tired of his, the way that he act, regardless of how he act. Just get sick of him.
Right.
And the owner too. Had a lot to do with the owner. He probably got tired.
But what I will say about the owner, what's his name? The thin one.
Our owner?
Yeah.
John Mara?
Yes. He seemed like he cares though. Like these losses and where the Giants is heading over these years, seem like it's taking years off of his life. When he talk about the Giants and where we are, whatever, he just looked like he about to cry, know? You could tell he wants it bad, for the Giants to, to be good, but
But I don't know, do he really care, or do he care about him looking bad because all of his decisions have been wrong, though? That's a difference too, though. Do you really care about football and care about winning and stuff like that, or do you care about not looking like a fool?
But what's his at the time, though? At the time, the picks were good for coaches. At least the Joe Shane, from Buffalo and what they had done over there, Dable and whatever. That looked solid. That looked like a solid pick. I don't think people were like, "What the hell they doing?"
Yeah, personally, I had no problem with his last decisions when it came to that. They ended up not working out because of Joe Shane.
Right.
But during the time as they got hired, I didn't mind them at all. I thought that was a very good combination. Right. It was the ones before that, him getting David Gettleman and getting like McAdoo and Sherman and Joe Judge. Yeah, I hated all those.
That's 5 though. Like, we keep saying 4. I'm hearing 5. McAdoo,
Sherman, Joe Judge, and Brian Dable. That's it.
Oh, we're not missing one. Okay. All right.
Because maybe you throwing David Gettleman in there because he a general
Maybe
manager.
I'm throwing David Gettleman,
Yeah,
Gettleman in there. Correct.
yeah, he was the worst. He was the
Right.
worst.
Gettleman was with McAdoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they brought him back, I'm like, they bringing back the dinosaur.
Yep.
They bringing back.
Yep. After not doing a good job at Carolina where he was at, like they got rid of David Gettleman just so the Giants could hire him. Like he had just got fired that season.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Any final words, Steph?
Go Giants and make something happen in this offseason. Go make something happen in this offseason.
And we making it seem like this the last show. We still got like 5 more of these shit.
It's true. It's true.
We signing off like, yeah, we see y'all next season. We bad. We suck. I
We'll
gotta
see y'all after the draft when we start breaking down these draft picks.
be here next week. I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about next week because I expect all of these to be losses. So there's no point of going over stats and stuff. We pretty much I'm just gonna be just talk about the state of the Giants and what might go on this week.
And what we need to, I actually taped that Colorado game. I'll be watching it. Because when I went to cut on, was it the Knicks or whoever? I said Colorado's. What? No, it wasn't the Knicks. It was the Giants. When I went to cut on I think it was the Giants game. Colorado was playing, and I said
the Knicks.
it was the Knicks game,
Yeah,
and Colorado was playing.
because we both lost. They
Oh,
both
okay.
lost.
Okay, all right. But
Colorado lost first, and then I switched over to the Knicks.
I taped the game, so I'm gonna sit there and watch it.
See, but you taped the wrong game. You go tape the game they finally lost.
Well, was it because of the quarterback though?
No, Shador is Shador. Like they
Right.
did not.
So I
do it
can
because
still
of-
see something, right?
Right.
I'll be able to see.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure he has
They-
a few more games, right?
Yeah. They have. I think they have 2 more games. They might have to play in the Big 12 championship, or who? No, they play Saturday. They play Oklahoma State. I think it's their last game of the season, and then they go into either the Big 12 championship game or they definitely have a bowl game. So you have a couple chances still to watch Shador. Salute the lady in the chef. She hit the chat. Salute.
Hello, lady in the chef. Hit that like button. She just be coming through. Hit the like button. All right, I see y'all. I got to go to the next one. Hit the like button.
Yeah, smash that like button. Salute to everybody that came through in the chat.
Get this link though before you log off. I put it in the private chat.
Yeah. Before I saw it.
Okay.
I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna put it in my notes right now. Hold on, because I definitely want to see that.
I was looking to see if anybody else had reported on that, but they're pretty G-Men HQ. They're pretty okay.
Yeah, I read them before. Yeah, I like them. Yeah, salute to all the other Giants content creators. Dude, like it was crazy after this past weekend, I should say. Like a lot of people was jumping out of the window. There's a whole bunch of cussing and a whole bunch of throwing stuff and a lot of video shorts of them, burning jerseys. Some dude say he ain't gonna have his channel no more. He's shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, like the Giants got people like that because it's been a long time, man. We haven't been a respectable franchise for a while. Like I know as fans, we want to think that, and we had that one playoff appearance a couple years ago when they first got here, but the Giants have been bad for the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
We have been the worst team in the NFL. Us and the Jets are the 2 worst teams in the NFL this past decade. The 2 New York teams. So anytime, salute to the Jets. I'm not a Jets hater or anything, but I know their history. And if we're on any list with the Jets, let's just say we are in a bad spot. Because just historically they haven't been a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, right now we aren't either.
We're not, but this is the latest before Daniel Jones. There's multiple teams interested in Daniel Jones.
Saw that.
and he's crossing people off the list, teams off the list. And somebody said, imagine being the team Daniel Jones won't even go to.
Right, right. He said
I
that
think the Raiders was one that he crossed off his list.
talk about because they ain't going to the playoffs. Like if hell, what I want to know why he thinks just from I don't know, just from a human standpoint, why he think even if he did latch onto a team that's going to the playoffs, why he think he playing? That's why
Well, they're saying these are the other teams: Minnesota, Baltimore, San Francisco, potential landing spots to join a playoff caliber team while developing under a top tier coach and a top tier quarterback. This is what the article is saying. This is another article in G-Man HQ.
so
Um,
so wait, so he was the starting quarterback on this team. He got benched, he got released. So your next action, just as a competitor, just hear me out real quick. Just as a competitor, you want to go to a good team just so you can learn behind somebody?
right,
You don't think of yourself as a starting quarterback then.
right,
So that means he shouldn't have been the starting quarterback in the first place here.
right.
If you don't think that. Like I can't imagine a starting quarterback will get benched and want to go somewhere and be a backup. Like that doesn't usually, as a competitor, that doesn't usually happen like that. They'll want to sit out until I could get a starting job somewhere.
To your point, let me just read this sentence.
Okay.
The former Giants quarterback is weighing substantial interest, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
He, and wants to go to a postseason contender. So he eliminated the Vegas Raiders. And this is what the article is saying. This development doesn't come as a shock. The Raiders are currently mired in mediocrity, sitting near the bottom of the AFC standings and with no clear path to a playoff berth. That's the type of team you want to be in if you
Right.
believe in yourself.
Right. They are the Raiders are our say if we do want Shador Sanders,
Hmm.
they are our number one rivals to get him
Right.
because Tom Brady is like a partial owner there now.
Hmm.
And Tom Brady has mentored Shador Sanders since he was a teenager.
Mm.
He knows everything about him. He works out with him in the off season,
Hmm.
and he can't come out and say it because he is part of ownership. But please believe that they are 3-8, just like we're 2-9. We're a game ahead of him. But say if it's even, say if they do leapfrog us in the draft, we're not getting Shador Sanders. They're going to draft him.
Right.
Like it's a lock.
Right.
And say if we don't get the number one pick, say if we got two,
Hmm.
say if Jacksonville got one, we got two, and the Raiders got three. The Raiders will try to leapfrog us for Shador Sanders.
Right.
And it wouldn't take that much since it's only going up 2 spots. So
Right.
we need to be aware of that. If we did want Shador Sanders, we might not even want him. We might want Cam Moore. But I'm just saying, if
Right.
our organization wants Shador Sanders, we're going to have to lose out to get him.
Right.
Can't win another game, or we're not going to get him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we on that track. Shouldn't be too hard.
Salute to Deception in the track. I see somebody else is in the chat watching the show. Salute. But we're on our way out.
Yeah,
Thank you
we
for
are.
joining me, Steph.
Of course, of course. I should be here. Yeah, I should be here next week too.
So you be here next week. So no dope soda this week?
I'm flying out. I'm flying out Thanksgiving. Well, my aunt ain't watching. I'm flying out. My aunt ain't watching. If she watching, then the surprise is over. I'm
Okay.
flying out Thanksgiving. I decided the last minute to fly out Thanksgiving morning to go to Georgia.
Nice.
And I'll be back Monday. So I don't really see.
Yeah, we're not having no
Today
show.
was the only opportunity between like 7:30 and 9.
Yeah.
Was the only opportunity because Friday, you know how that internet is.
Yeah. And tomorrow, you gotta get ready, pack and stuff like that. I
Tomorrow
would
the
guess.
Giants play, and the Giants, the
The
Knicks
Knicks
play
play.
because I would do tomorrow, but and they play early, a regular 7:30 game, even though it's Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
Hold on, let me look real
Because
quick.
if it was a 9 o'clock game, we could have got something in between like 7:30 and 9.
Right. Only thing, I don't know. It all depends, I guess. You could do one after the game. Our show would be till like 11, 12, 10:30, 11 o'clock anyway.
Like an hour and a half show.
So instead of starting at 9, start at 9:30. 9:45, which I guess it depends on what time
The Nick game is over. I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
I ain't gonna be doing nothing, so just let me know if you want to.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You'll be doing nothing. The next day is Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
hopefully people won't be traveling that time. It'd be late at night. So
Right. All right.
all right. So I will let you know if Steph does have a show on Dope Soul this week, but usually it's every Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
You can catch me here at Die Hard Giants every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Even though I'm probably not going to want to be here, but I'm going to be here for the people. I hope people tune in. It's going to be tough. And salute to everybody in the chat, like I said before, and we out. Peace.
Yeah. Go OG.
Go OG.
Go OG.
Go OG.